Cancelled.
Schweezy.
So the superhero genre has been done to death. And, but I enjoy that shit. So, and you're listening to me. So who's the real loser here? Yeah, I wanted to talk about Invincible Season 2. Now, for those of you who don't know, Invincible, I can't remember who they're by, what comic story, but they're like they have their own little universe of like superheroes. It's like its own superhero universe and stuff like that. And it's very cool. There's a lot of, it's part, the show is on Amazon, and Amazon has 2 superhero franchises right now on their streaming service. That's The Boys and Invincible. Now, if you've watched The Boys, which I haven't, I'm excited for season 4 coming soon. One thing you know about that show is pretty much the kind of premise I like to think about this. I haven't read any of the comics, but I heard the show is a lot better than the comics because it's a little too much on the parody. It's kind of a parody of superheroes, like what would superheroes be like in the real world? And it also is the age-old question, what if Superman was evil? And they've explored evil Superman in, animated movies. They rimmed that's not the word, rimmed the idea in the Zack Snyder DC just rimmed again. I'm just like, rim, that would be a fun thing to say. They now it sounds bad. They kind of touched on it, like, I think the general plan for Justice League 2 or Part 2, whatever they were going to call it, was going to be like they attack Darkseid on their own, and then after Darkseid gets the anti-life equation, which means he's able to control Superman, and Superman's evil, and he gets that from killing Lois Lane. That's why there was all those, like, Barry Allen running back in time. Like, you have to save Lois, she's the key, and, and the idea was, like, he was gonna save Lois, or whatever. That was the kind of general plan of it. But, that's, evil Superman's not too bad. And that is kind of like the beginning of Invincible, is that basically you got Invincible. What's the fuck's it? Mark. That didn't help. Come on,
Mark. Don't be stingy.
Mark and his dad, Nolan, a.k.a. Omni-Man. And Omni-Man's a Viltrumite, which is basically just a whole planet of Supermans. And they basically have tried to create an empire through blood, usually. Most empires are made through blood. And in the process of that, and so he was stationed to Earth and had Mark, and, the idea was to weaken the government and stuff like that. So you learn in the very first episode of Invincible, like, the Omni-Man is not actually a good guy, he's evil, like, at the end. It was, like, perfectly executed, too, especially for someone who hasn't read any Invincible stories ever, which I have not, so sucks to be me.
Let's go full throttle.
And so, yeah, that's kind of how the show starts out, but it's still kind of its own, like, universe in itself, whereas The Boys is, like, it's a real parody of, like, what superheroes would be like in the real world, and, like, what's it actually like, and it's also kind of a little hit on, like, celebrity culture and what celebrity, and all that stuff, like, in, like, big popular things, like, like the Me Too movement, and stuff like that. Girls get it done, It's super interesting, but no, we're going back to Invincible. So basically, at the end of season 1, spoilers for a show that came out over a year ago, they basically ended with Omni-Man was about to just take over Earth, but then he has a change of heart. He's like, Mark, everyone here's gonna die. What will you have? I'm like, you, Dad. And then he flies off into space, and so that's where you leave off. And that was the storyline I'm just like, I am all for this. Like, this is the story I want to see. And so now we're going on to season 1. It starts on, like, an alternate Earth, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, Mark and Omni-Man teamed up, and then we meet Angstrom Levy, who is basically like he can travel through the multiverse with portals and shit. And he's like, what I can do is put my consciousness all together and everyone's brains put together. And then what I can do is have all the knowledge and we can make the multiverse a better place or whatever. And then at the end of the episode, it goes wrong and he survives with just this giant brain-ass thing, head and whatever, and like that. And then you really don't see him until the very last episode. And he was meant to be, it was like, okay, that's the villain of this season. Let's see how it gets set up. And then, let's wait till it. And then Mark gets to graduate, and graduate high school, and he has to fight someone, and he comes back. Adam Eve is trying to repair places, but apparently she didn't do it right, so they all broke and fell down. He's like, I'm trying to help, and your dad's like, you're a freak, just like, it's like if the X-Men were, in the real world, it's like, wow, the X-Men, those guys saved like 30 children from dying on a bus. What a bunch of fucking freaks. Fuck them. Like, what is this world? Pretty much that episode deals with that. Oh yeah, he almost has to marry the Atlantean daughter or fight in combat or whatever and everything like that. And then what happens after that? You get a flashback to Alan's episode. Alan, the alien, played by Seth Rogen. He's supposed to be like this thing that they give. It's basically his backstory. And it was actually really interesting. He was like a weird survivor, and he was extra strong and juiced up and shit like that, or whatever. And then something like that. Yeah, and then then he gets into a fight with some Viltrumites and gets the shit beaten out of him, and then he becomes stronger in the process. That's cool. That's pretty much what happened to find it, and apparently, I don't know, something like that. And then finally, and then we get to where the hell has Omni-Man been? And that is the question. Where's Omni-Man been? What happened to him after he bitched out on Earth? He found this world called Thraxon or Thraxa. Thrax, I don't know the name of the planet. And basically, Mark gets tricked into going there because his dad needs his help for the Viltrumites coming to them for Nolan invading, for bailing on Earth and shit like that. And, that's a crime for them. Whatever, so they have a cool thing. But that's interesting. So it's like this bug species, which I don't know how you fuck a bug, dude. I don't know how that worked out. And turns out Mark now has a half brother who's purple. Don't think it through, guys. Don't try to, like, how's the baby purple? How is like a white Superman and a bug make a purple human? Fuck if I know. And at this point, Mark gets captured. No, Nolan gets captured. And the Viltrumites like, you're going to take over Earth for us since your dad didn't, you little bitch. And he's like, Mark's like, fuck, I'm not going to do that. And shit like that. And then we go on Thraxa. That's the name of the planet. So I did get it right. Mark helps everyone recover. He's gone for like a month. He's in college at this point. He's just not in college. Like at this point, like, and then he works for like that whatever government agency, that is in charge of their own Justice League or whatever. Like, like he doesn't need to go to school. Like he doesn't need to go. What's he gonna do after college? He's probably just gonna do superhero shit. I'm like, why is he in college? Or anyways, they have to intercept a Martian ship because one of the Martians bailed, and this like sucky creature took over a human, and they had to fight that off, and they already teased that bullshit's coming back, so like that, and so Eve, comes back to heroism, but the Lizard League, which is definitely not Hydra and the Serpent Society, decide that all the strong ones are in space right now. Now's our time to attack, and Rex pretty much beats them all with a bullet in his head. That didn't make sense. This does have a lot of are they really dead logic? Because like you see them die and you're like, oh, they're still alive. It's like that. Like the chick who could multiply herself, duplicate. Like I thought she died, but it turns out she was just using a prop, which is what you would do. Like, you use you can multiply yourself and go to any place on Earth. Like that's I would do that too. Keep the prime body safe. Just normal superhero shit that I know and you don't. But yeah, no, that was kind of rough. He got shot in the head, and he's like, "Hey, I'm still alive," and he's just, he was like, "Okay, I don't know how you take a fucking bullet to the brain and survive, but okay, but they win. Everything's good, and shit like that. Yeah, so that's what happens there. So yeah, after the Lizard King Lizard, the fucking Lizard King, the Lizard King, he's defeated. After like fucking wrecks him with a bullet and said, "I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it." I don't think I have applause. But yeah. Now that Mark's baby brother's on Earth now because his mom only lives for like a year because she's a bug. I guess now Mark's mom is.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
I guess Mark's mom is taking care of her husband's other child, his new family, shit like that, crazy. And then because Nolan was like, "Read my books, Mark. Read my books," and they're all like sci-fi fantasy novels of like his real life stories and shit like that. He's like, "You'll figure out how Viltrumites are defeated if you read my books. Find that information in my science fiction novels that did not sell apparently because they were real." And like we always say, real stories aren't as good. That's why we always add fucking shit to everything, stuff like that. Russ he gets repossessed by a sequid or whatever. And then General Craig, interrogates Nolan about Earth and whatever that. And then Angstrom comes back and then that's for the very last episode. What do we have going on here? Donald. Donald, there's a weird cycle out. Donald he died. He saw videos of him dying, but they kept rebuilding him and whatever and shit like that. But he was also not Nolan. Dude was like, I guess. I guess the reason why his memory was erased was because of trauma, and that's why. And he's like, "Oh, okay." That fucking plot goes away. Mark saves a cruise ship. Oh, yeah, and then Anissa is another Viltrumite. She comes to be like, "Join us, and we're good guys. The Viltrumites are good guys." And Mark's like, "Bullshit." And they save a hostage together, and then they fight, and he's like, "I will not agree with you," or some bullshit, or whatever, whatever. And then the episode ends with Angstrom holding Debbie and Oliver. That's the purple baby's name. And then we get to the last episode where Mark has to go fucking beat the shit out of Angstrom or whatever. And he's like, "I don't want to kill anyone." I'm like, "You probably already killed someone accidentally, dude." Like, you need to calm that shit down. And, they have a big old fight. They go through dimensions and they get the fake Spider-Man cameo and Walking Dead cameo, which I think the creator created The Walking Dead too. And, eventually Mark gets trapped in another dimension and shit like that, and he has to kill Angstrom. And he's like, he kind of bitches about that shit, which he just bitches about. He's just bitching, "I had to kill." I'm like, I feel like part of the job as a superhero is like, you don't want to kill anyone. Batman has the no-kill rule because in his mindset, like, he's human too, and his idea is that like he doesn't want to be judge, jury, and executioner. That's not his job. His job is to stop the crime. He doesn't want to be killing. But sometimes you have to kill another person, or else it's the strange idea where, you go into like, either I kill this one person or they kill 50 people. Like, that's the Batman Joker situation. Like, in his mind, from Batman's perspective, like, he doesn't want to kill anyone, and that's his thing. But killing the Joker could save a lot more lives, and it's the trolley problem. Run over one person or run over 5 people. I wish you could split the train. We could just run over all 6 of them, but we don't live in a perfect world. Okay, the world isn't that. And so Mark bitches about killing Angstrom, which, like, if he didn't kill him, he wasn't going to stop. Sometimes you have to do that. Like, I bet anyone would have gotten a good hit on Hitler. It's like, it's just how, it's how things are. Like, I'm not saying you should kill people, but especially when you're in the superhero business, like sometimes you have to, you know. Oh yeah, and he's the way he gets back, because he thought he was gonna be stranded there. I'm like, this is gonna be an interesting cliffhanger, but no, he comes back, and they were like, this is 20 years in the future. We had to save you. You know, you told us to. We got you. I don't know, some bullshit time travel wumbo jumbo. And then he's like, future Eve's like, confess your feelings, Mark. If you have any feelings, or let her down easy, some bullshit, or whatever. And then. Yeah, Mark doesn't confess his feelings to her because, I don't know, the other Zazie Beetz is there, you know? Which, like, I don't know, between Zazie Beetz and Jillian Jacobs, you know, in real life, you know? I don't think I could choose. That'd be a hard choice. I'd have to be a couple dates with both of them for me to decide which one I like more, you know? But that's just me. But, yeah, that's Invincible Season 2. I love the concept of this show, and I love this show, but... You know, especially the Superman Viltrumite Empire type of thing, that is just so cool. Like, and the whole planet of evil people with Superman's powers, you know, they're like a threat to the entire universe. Like, that is so cool. But they kind of blue balled you on that because, you know, it's just like that. I just wanted to see that plot point. Like, you know, the Angstrom Levy plot point really fell flat for me. You know, I think. Like, by the end of the season, I just didn't care, you know? Like, you either needed to, like, do that storyline earlier, not, like, the first and last episode, make it the plot points with, like, little pieces in between. You know, they should have just wrapped that one up pretty quickly and then moved on to all the Viltrumite stuff, because I would have loved to see... Because they left you on a cliffhanger with the Viltrumite stuff. I think Alan purposely got arrested and is talking to Omni-Man, and they're trying to... figure out an escape and stuff like that. So they're saving that for the next season, which gets me excited for that. I'm so excited. You know, I'm going to watch season 3 when it comes out, but, you know, the Angstrom Levy plot point fell flat to me. And yeah, just by the final episode, I just didn't care about him at all. I'm just like, Mark, just kill this dude, please. And that's why we all call him a bitch when you cried about it, because I'm just like, dude, that dude was an asshole. Like, after he got his evil super intelligence, like, he became an asshole. Like, you know the Invincible on this planet is a good guy. You know, even like the big clone guys even had a problem with it too. You know, that's it. You know, Mark, stop being a fucking little bitch, okay? You know.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
And you know, I already talked about that, how it's like, it's the superhero business. Like, you may have to kill someone. The goal is to not. But sometimes you don't have a choice. You know, I feel like that's what it's like being a superhero, you know? And, yeah, but overall, I enjoyed this season. Like, I can't say I hated it. You know, it's better than anything fucking Sony Marvel is doing. Like, the Sony Marvel is doing. They're just making movies to keep the rights. They're not even, like, trying to do anything good. You know, like... You know, I think this season of Invincible was mid. That's what I want to say. But I'm not saying it was bad. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every step of the way. If anyone asked if they should watch it, I would say yes. Definitely go ahead and watch it. Give me your thoughts. Give me your prayers. And tell me everything you want to know. We'll be right back. Thank you for watching this clip. Watch it again or watch something